All right, thank you for staying with me. And I said it earlier before the break that we're going to be talking about on the program today, the conversation segment about the state of these states, state of the living spring Osun State, under the leadership of Governor Ademola Adeleke. He is the MC-man, the sheriff in charge, and that has been for like 2 years. Last week, the state government, the supporters, the party in charge, the PDP, roll out the drums to celebrate the achievement, what they've been able to do, for the past 2 years. The people of Osun State have their rating. The opposition parties, in fact, the main opposition party, APC, had their rating of him as well. Different fora, different conversation about the progress of the state. But one thing is sure, either it's the broom or the umbrella, is about the people of the state. The police, the party is a vehicle in which, every leader must use to get into power as far as democracy is concerned. And when they are given the gauntlet, the mandate, they should make it count. And it's 2 years already of the Adeleke's government. But then beyond that, okay, part of what they said, infrastructural plans, and projects littered around the state, and they are saying is all there for all to see. Many persons of the opposition, we have some of them here, who said, okay, some of those things are visible, but coming at what cost? And possibly the kind of money available to the PDP now is the highest in the history of the state now. So they are lucky and they could have done more than they are currently doing right now. And so it's more like crumbs, what the people are seeing. Yes, it's there. But then the PDP will say, you had your time, leave us to do what we are doing right now. The Osun people are happy with us, but that's the prerogative of the people to say if they are happy or not. But there are other talking points. And there is one that looks like the elephant in the room, which is the quote-unquote relocation of an airport, which was conceived under the leadership of, the APC government. At some point, the project was supposed to be an airport. Later, we realized maybe there were other understandings or cargo airport and some concessions. And right now, in Osun, which was supposed to be the venue, the location rather, beg your pardon, the location of the airport, will understand. There are some understanding that say that particular location is no more fit. And this is coming after some considerations, after, some professional advice, and it's been moved to Akuda Ede, in which many persons are saying, either is Akuda, either is the Ede is Ede. There is this talk of Edenization of everything good in the state, and other parts of the state are just having crumbs. So this morning, we have stakeholders from both sides of the divide, the PDP, that's the ruling party, and the APC as well. I have with me in the studio today the SSA on political affairs to Governor Adeleke, Honorable Tunde Badmus. Good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Femi.
Yes.
Good morning, the good people of Osun State.
All right.
Thank you very much. Happy to be with you.
Yes, and of course, virtually as well, we have been joined by the spokesman to the former governor of the state, Governor Adegboyega Itola, who is currently a minister, of the marine and blue economy, Ismail Omipidon. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Femi.
Yes.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Osun State.
Right. All right. Let me start with you, Honorable. Your government is too. In fact, you are donning the Moleya 2 cap already. And the people, some opposition members are saying, yes, you have couple, using their words now, a couple of projects here and there, but that you could have done more. What you have given to the people are just crumbs. In fact, they count you as maybe by divine providence, you are the luckiest in terms of what you get from Abuja. And yes, you have projects, but you can do more. Do you agree with that? That what you have given to the people, your government, your principal, they are just crumbs? Or you think you are doing your best?
As much the state can assess the programs and the development recently experienced in Osun State, the good people of Osun can assess it themselves. We've never had it this good so far. And I can tell you, we are open to critics, but very reasonable ones. Osun is developing and rapidly under the leadership of Senator Ademola Jackson Adeleke, the governor. And as you can see, all the sectors, in accordance to our manifesto during the campaign, are rapidly being touched. And I will not lie to you, if we are expecting, if the state is expecting more, what about the inflation in the current price of all products? I can tell you, if they are expecting more, we are trapped by inflation as well.
Is it bad for them to expect more?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I can tell you by the assessment of the people of Osun State today, the governor is doing brilliantly well, excellently well, and they have
Assessment of the Osun people?
Yes.
The Osun people that are party members or the Osun people in general?
The Osun people in general. Just yesterday, you saw the workers, the civil servants, appreciating the governor for paying even more than the approval given by the federal government for the minimum wage. As I'm telling you today, our civil servant politicians are the members of our party. These are general populace benefiting the good of the government of Senator Ademola Adeleke.
So you think the workers are happy with it?
They are very, very happy. You can see what happened yesterday. Why the government...
Although the Tribune reported that the workers shut down the secretariat to show their appreciation.
Well. I fought that report.
That's on the Tribune, it's there. It's on their front page.
And
one would wonder what kind of appreciation is that?
Secretariat.
So the Tribune is wrong.
They welcome the governor to office in appreciation of the approval of the new minimum wage, which is 75,000 for the workers of...
When is it starting?
Yeah, we're starting immediately December, and we are paying at least 1 arrears.
For November?
For the workers.
So the next paycheck, the government, the workers will be having will reflect the new minimum wage. That's what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right. Very well. Let me come to Mr. Ismail Omipidon. You heard him saying, the people can see for themselves and access it. It's obvious the kind of progress that they've made. Let me ask you your own assessment of this government. They took over from your principal, won him at the post 2 years after, and they are saying, see where we took the gauntlet from 2 years after, see what we have done excellently with the state. Do you agree?
Well, let me say straight away that I do not agree with him. And the basis are simple. If you are going to do an honest assessment of this current administration, vis-a-vis what we were able to do in office, I plead that you be just and fair by assessing them based on what was accruable to them, based on the prevailing circumstances. Go and check the records. As of 2018, when Adeleke...
All right.
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Please go ahead.
As of November 2018, when His Excellency Oyetola took over the reins of power, he didn't know where that money would come from.
I'm afraid the connection is breaking. Maybe you might have to relocate from where you are, if you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, please go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As I was saying, as of 2022, when the current administration took over, they took up with 14 billion naira cash, even though they tried to deny it at the beginning. But in the course of running the government, they started to say, but they met what was enough to pay salaries. And I asked further, how much was that amount that was enough to pay salary? I asked deliberately because I know for a fact that the salary we left, which was inclusive of, included salaries of political appointees who served the last administration. It included salaries of the 1,500 teachers that were sacked by this current administration. It included salary of workers, over 200 of them that were sacked by this current administration. I am aware that all the political appointees, including all these sacked workers, were never paid. So where did they leave the remainder of the money? That is one. Two, in the course of the, what were the things they promised the people of Osun?
Right.
One, they promised the people of Osun that they were going to invest in agriculture. Two, they promised the people of Osun that because of the connection of their Olori Ebi, the head of the family, they were going to improve on energy in Osun. Three, they promised the people of Osun, especially the retirees, and within 6 months, they were going to clear all their areas. And I asked again, have they done all this? The truth is this: if the retirees administration had not stabilized the Osun economy, I bet you the current governor would have run away upon taking over the reins of office. So if we are going to assess them based on the allocation they have received, I will say with all sense of modesty that they haven't done well, because they also promised the youth of Osun that they were going to engage them under what they call the Imole Youth Corps. They promised the people of Osun that they were going to engage 5,000 teachers. How many have they engaged in 2 years? So how can such a government come on air to say they have done well?
All right. Now, let's put these things into perspective. You talked about a range of promises made under them, made by the administration when they were campaigning for, the mandate of the people, payment of arrears in 6 months, the Imole Corps thing, empowerment of the youth and all of those things. And, Honorable, Mr. Mikwedo said, you have not done any of those things. Is it right?
You know what? I disagree with him.
With facts?
Yeah, the APC government had their time in this state for 12 good years.
Yeah.
Including his master, the minister, former governor Boyega Oyetola.
Yes.
They had their time in this state. And I can tell you, assessing the state so far, the good people of Osun State can see for themselves and can assess what good and better have been experienced under the 2 years leadership of Senator Adeleke. When we are coming aboard, we wrote out our agenda, which are welfare of the workers. This is the first governor that will prioritize welfare of the workers.
Why do you say the first governor that will prioritize?
Yeah,
because he's paying?
Not because he's paying.
Because Oyetola paid as well?
Yes, you might be right. But
no, I am.
I'm telling you,
the facts are right.
Is analyzed, is listed on our agenda. Welfare.
And you are doing it?
Welfare of the workers.
And what's the welfare? That's what I'm asking.
That's what we've been doing now. We've been paying the backlog arrears.
You said you promised to pay in 6 months. You have not done that in 2 years.
Let me tell you, during our campaign, there was a program. We still have the clip. The governor said he will pay. He didn't put 6 months.
So where's this 6 months thing always coming from?
I don't understand. It's coming from the opposition.
Your principal, your party never promised
6 months
to offset the arrears in 6 months.
We will offset the arrears as convenient and comfortable for the government. And I can tell you we've paid 8 months so far.
How about the
half salary, all by their own government.
Okay. Now, how about the teachers recruitment? 5,000.
You see,
a year after
Alhaji Boyega,
no confirmation letter has been given to anybody.
Femi,
Yes.
after Alhaji Boyega Oyetola lost the election in 2022, they embarked in some activities trying to make it difficult for the incoming government. Now, this is a government that doesn't cooperate in even having a transition committee with the incoming government.
Okay.
They are too bitter about the loss of the elections to the extent that they didn't cooperate with us and they didn't even constitute any transition committee.
They did not.
They did not. So,
we are speaking to fact this morning in Otunba.
Yes,
you're
course.
saying
There
the APC government of
transition
under Alhaji Oyetola didn't constitute any transition team from his side.
Yes.
Okay.
To synergize with us. So they have been coming up with some policies, some programs, unnecessary recruitment across board, and the health sector, the teaching, the education. So that was why
you called it unnecessary.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
But they were still recruiting Osun people.
They had their time.
Okay.
Enough.
That was within their time.
Before the election.
Even after the election, it was still within their time.
It was still within their time. But then
government is a continuum.
But then the intention was clear.
Okay. What was the intention?
The intention was to make taking off difficult for the incoming government. So the governor, after swearing in his wisdom, made some executive order.
And sacked them.
Withdrawing all actions taken by the former governor after election.
Which amount to the sacking of those ones?
Not only withdrawing all actions.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If he has withdrawn through executive order, everything done after the election.
After withdrawing, we now came up with committees to review the ones that are genuinely necessary for the good people of Osun State.
Okay.
And according to the report, we realized 1,500 is even small to what we need in our education, the teachers to be recruited. And that is why the governor came back.
But you didn't retain those ones and later had.
But they had the opportunity to reapply.
After you had told them to go?
Yeah, everybody was reversed and had better opportunity because 1,500 appointment was reversed due to the executive order, and we are hoping to take in at least ×3 of it, 5,000.
You know, because of time, we have a lot of things
to do. And I can tell you today,
most
of this 1,500 have reapplied, and they are waiting for the appointment letter.
Have they been given an appointment letter?
Yeah, you know, education sector is a very...
Otunba, yes or no? Have they been given an appointment letter?
Not yet. The process is still on. The screening process is still
almost a year after.
Because we have to be thorough. Yes. When we came on board...
Sorry, a recruitment has to take a year to be thorough.
Let me tell you, education, when we came on board, Osun was rated 34 out of 36.
Where's Osun now?
By the time we are having the new rating for 2024, we'll see where Osun will be.
Okay. So what's stopping this recruitment?
So we have to be thorough about it. The time for collection of form, the time for screening, and the government have to, you know, there was a window negotiating the minimum wage by the federal government coming up with. So the government have to slow down, trying to know what the federal government will come up with, so that we now know what we are also bringing on board. And immediately we have the federal government approved 70,000 minimum wage.
That has been done since July, Otunba.
Yes.
Since July.
Yes, and I can tell you by January latest, the teachers will collect their appointment
on authority, you are saying that?
I'm telling you that.
But then the need for those teachers has not gone away, because there was need and there is still need for teachers. You know, we had a report here where parents are complaining, please, we need teachers. That need, you are talking about thoroughness, which is fair, is fair, but that need is still there. A year later, it has not been filled.
The vacuum and the deficit is being inherited by us from the past government.
And you are trying to fix it.
And we are trying to fix it.
But it's taking for too long. We are the mirror of the society, and the people are saying this is taking too long.
It's not taking too long to achieve success. I'm telling you, when we came on board, there was an education summit, inviting all stakeholders in that sector on board to discuss this and the needs. which the
Yeah.
governor studied
The Education
report.
Summit chaired by Professor Isojare.
Yes.
And he made recommendations.
So
recruitment of teachers was part
was
of
part
it.
of it.
Almost a year later, you have not done it.
No, not that we've not done anything.
Okay.
We are in between the process.
All right, I'll come back to you. Mr. Omikwedo, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, Honorable is saying you had your time, you bungled it. Now is the time of the PDP and Governor Adeleke. You should, relax and wait for your time. They are doing the best for the people of the state. So why are you still raising your hands and raising objections?
Well, we are not just raising objection. I'm sure I didn't bring myself to this program. I was invited to the program.
Of course, yes.
It's a different thing if I, on my own, I said, oh, I want to speak on government. That is one. Two, they should be grateful to us that from time to time we point out some of their anomalies, some of their missteps, which is helping them to do the little they are claiming they are doing. But before I continue,
yes,
let me correct some of the misconceptions of your guest in the studio.
Please go ahead.
It is not correct to say that we never had a transition committee. In fact, just 3 days ago, Facebook brought me the reminder of the position we took on the transition committee. We had our own transition committee, they had theirs. We wrote to them formally, inviting them to sit with our own committee so that we could look at what we had. But they wrote back to us. If you recall very well, I don't know if you had John Western's, I was your two, about 3 or 4 days to the handover with the active chairman of the party, today the essay on, and we tell this matter. It's we're not cooperating. I said that is not correct. That I am aware that the chief of staff to the governor, Dr. Charles Akiola, was in touch with members of your transition committee, and that I am aware that a formal letter had been written. So, and the letter signed the public domain. So it is not correct to say we never had a handing over. That is one. Two, I'm sure you are well educated enough. It is unfortunate that in Nigeria, we try to glorify wrongs. I don't know where it is written that once election has been won and decided, the man who lost the election, whose tenure is still running, can no longer take any action or do anything. That is not correct. And whoever taught you that is doing a disservice to you and the people of the state.
Are you with me? Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yes, okay. Are you with us now?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Now, when we were going to do 2,500, and that we were going to do them in batches, and the first one we did was 1,000. Are you with me?
Yes. Go ahead, I'm with you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Like I was saying, we stated clearly from day one that we were going to recruit 2,500 teachers, and that we were going to do them in batches. And we started with 1,000. After the 1,000, we continue with the remaining 1,005. Except you are telling me that at the time we set out to do this recruitment, we knew we were going to lose the election. Because this argument of saying that those policies were done to create line mines for the incoming government does not hold water. Unless you are telling me that we knew we were going to lose the election while we were doing what we were doing. Again, go and check the statement that I issued on behalf of my principal in 2022 in January.
Yes.
We stated it very clearly that this is an election year. But in spite of that, we will continue to discharge our responsibility to the people of the state till the last day, that we will not allow electioneering to affect governance. And that was why even after we lost the election, we continue with the Osogbo Ilobu Road. We completed it. The Orioke Pure Water Road, we completed it. And several other roads like that, you know. So if you are saying that because election was held in July and you were announced as the winner, we should stop doing whatever we're doing, or that whatever we did were illegal, it means that the inauguration of your principal was illegal. Because we were the one who arranged for the inauguration. We were the one who prepared ground for the inauguration. So those arguments, to the best of my knowledge, does not hold water. Two, when did we start debate over minimum wage? They had promised from day one that they were going to engage 5,000 workers. But you know, like I said from day one, this administration is ill prepared. It's not prepared for governance. Don't forget that when the governor was inaugurating his transition committee as a governor-elect, a prepared speech, I still have a copy. He stated it clearly that the transition committee should tell him what to do in 100 days, what to do in 6 months, and subsequently. And I think 2 days later or 24 hours later, I was invited to a program on Frank Talk. And I said it clearly that for me, from what I have seen from the prepared speech of the governor was not prepared for governance. Because if he was prepared for governance, he won't be telling his transition committee to tell him what project he will do in 100 days.
But you can always take advice, isn't it?
No, you can take advice, but you should be able to tell us what you want to do. You now tell them that, look, this is what you have outlined. They should help you review and tell you which one to start with first, not to tell you what you will do in 100 days. So ask them to tell you what we will do in 100 days, presupposing that you don't even know what you want to do.
Mr.
And that is what is playing out.
Yes.
Did they anywhere promise us that they were going to do 5 flyovers? I'm very sure if they had told the people of Osun that they were coming to do 5 flyovers, some persons who voted for them may not have voted for them.
Mr. Mipino, allow me to butt in
here. That is not our
here.
priority.
Yes. Do you still hold that view that you held, a few days after the inauguration of Governor Adeleke, that their party wasn't ready, for governance? 2 years after.
I'm vindicated already. If they are ready.
2 years after, do you still hold that view?
You said you were going to recruit more teachers. And after 2 years, you are now saying that because of minimum wage, you want to do proper, excuse me, what proper arrangement are you doing that you didn't do before you took over? The Imole course you promised. Look, you cannot scrap the existing youth scheme when you are not prepared with what you want to use to replace it. For 2 years now, that scheme has been scrapped. They are yet to replace it. I'm sure because of the election now, they will put something together hurriedly. 5 teachers were sacked, and 1,500 teachers were sacked. You say you replace them with 5,000 teachers. You have done interview now for close to 1 year. And you are telling me you are taking your time.
All right.
How long will you take your time?
All right, I'll come back to you.
It just shows his preparedness, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Honorable, I see you giggling. It's like you want a reporter, but I'll ask as well. There was, many, all of these interventions during the tenure of Ogbeni Rafa Beshala. Some of it was maintained or were maintained during Governor Adegboyega Itola's tenure, because government is a continuum. But when your principal came in, everything went dead, and 2 years after, there is no replacement. Only last week, we saw that a portal has been opened for Imole Corps 2 years after. So what happened? And, is that not giving credence to what Mr. Omikido is saying, that your principal and your party were not ready for governance? Why scrap off an empowerment scheme when 2 years after you have not replaced it?
Mr. Femi.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Omikido know truly that the situation was not what he was analyzing.
Okay, please tell us.
Let me clarify him on the issue of transition committee.
Yeah.
He said they have a letter, official letter submitted. Is that amounting to constituting transition committee. An handover letter is not as the same as a transition committee. Let me just clarify that. That's what they did.
No,
They
sorry, that was not what I said.
handover letter.
What I said
Not
was that we
a
had a
transition
transition
committee. But the transition committee
inviting
is
your
referring
own
to
team to join us.
when and who are the member of their own current transition committee as open as our own are. That's about that. Two.
He mentioned Chief Charles Akinola.
Can a person be a committee?
Possibly headed the committee.
Don't worry, I just told you what they did.
Okay.
They submitted a letter and he made reference to it, an handover letter. That's
All right. How about the Imole Corps thing?
The Imole Youth Corps.
You discontinued a program that were feeding some persons 2 years after. You only came out last week with a porter.
Yes, it's the initiative of the Aregbesola government.
And it's a continuum, not in his name as a person.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But 12 years running that program,
Yeah.
we realized that there are a lot of things that need to be reformed in that program.
And it's taking you 2 years?
When Ralph Aregbesola started this scheme with, I think, 10,000 youths.
Okay.
By the time we came back, there is no... the scheme was initially under the Chief of Staff Office, later moved to the Commissioner for Youth, Ministry of Youth, and a lot of things have scandals.
How many do you have a number? How many did you meet when you came in?
I cannot quote that offered now.
So what's the problem with
came
it?
in,
Why was it scrapped? Let me ask you.
We didn't meet 10,000.
How many did
we
you
need
meet?
transparency
Okay.
to overall and reform that scheme. So for us to do that, we need to go back to the drawing board, assess the scheme, how functional it is, and how beneficial it is to the targeted youth of Osun.
Are you done with that now?
Now we are done with it.
2 years after.
We are done with it already.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of assessment and reform are you doing for 2 years? That's half of your administration.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
We have to explain why the scheme was moved away from the Office of the Chief of Staff, why the number have gone down slowly and the pay still remains the same.
Yeah.
And a lot of scandals in the scheme. So now we are done with it. We've opened portal. People are applying for it. And I can tell you.
Let me clarify something. Thank you.
The governor have given approval
to
come back and empower 10,000 youths
10,000
under that scheme.
Let me clarify. The Imole Corps that the portal has just been opened for now, is it a continuation of that youth empowerment scheme, or you have scrapped that and Adeleke is starting his own? I need that clarification.
Yeah, it's not a continuation.
Okay. That has ended.
The
OES thing has ended.
Yes. Okay. We are starting a new empowerment scheme
called the Imole
Youth Corps. And there will be difference in their pay and their activities as a...
Now that the portal has just been opened, how long, how many years would that take now?
I can tell you, in short, we are to kickstart it January next year.
No, I'm talking about the whole thing.
The whole thing. They will be employed and engaged by January next year.
All right. Quickly, 2 talking points here, because we have to move very quickly. The Osun Airport thing has been generating ripples, really. And people, I will link 2 questions together. That it was supposed to be in Osun. I remember the funfair, the excitement under Governor Aregbesola, and then, fast forward to your government right now. And the understanding in the society is your government, is making moves or has made moves to relocate that airport from the Osun as a town, Osun as a people, to Ede or Akuda Ede. Why?
I mean, you can't fast forward from the when Ralph Aregbesola's administration and aim of coming up with an airport in Osun without pausing to analyze and let people know what transpired between the former administration and the Air Force.
Okay. Tell me.
The last administration, when the Air Force came to approach them for an aviation center in Osun State, I had considered Osun Airport.
That same airport?
Yes.
Okay.
For the use of the Air Force. There's a letter that backed it up. We have a video recording why the former governor, Alhaji Boyega Oyetola, was handing over Idu Osun to the airport. Air Force.
A part of it or the complete airport?
The complete
project?
The complete project.
These are facts?
Yeah, there's a letter, official letter, that is in the public domain already.
Okay.
I can tell you...
What's the content of that letter?
I'm not with my phone. I have it. I would have read it word to word, the way it's...
But if you can summarize.
The summary of it is that the Osun Airport has been handed over by the last administration to the airport, to the Air Force for Aviation Center.
Right.
In as much that has been done, when we came on board, the governor invited the Air Force.
Your principal?
Yes, Senator Adeleke. For briefing on their activities and what has been slowing them down on the purpose of collecting Idu Osun as an aviation center. They came up with their argument and they said work is in progress. And I can tell you presently that the Air Force are working on Idu Osun Airport.
So which airport is being moved to
aviation center? No airport is being moved to Akuda. Osun State have the right to have its own airport. The site in Idu Osun remaining in Idu Osun is just that it's being used for another purpose, which is related to airport too. An aviation center.
To be run by the
Air Force.
Is that the true picture?
That's the true picture. And the one our government is starting is Osun State Airport.
New one?
New one.
Why?
Because the other one has been considered to the airport, to the Air Force as an aviation center. An aviation center cannot be used for the same purpose for a full-blown airport. And we need an airport in Osun State.
That's the question.
The wisdom
What's the need? What's the need for an airport? What's the economic importance of an airport?
If you...
There's an airport in Akure not too far. There's an airport in Ibadan not too far.
The same way there's an airport in Akure for Ondo State people use, and there's another one in Oyo State, and there's another one in Kwara State. It's also good for Osun State.
What's the economic importance?
We are opening Osun State.
People are watching you this morning. Tell them the economic importance.
If you see the work of Senator Adeleke in 2 years, you can see we are opening Osun State infrastructurally to entice development and investment. And airport is one of the things we need to put in place to attract more investors to Osun State.
You have not told me the economic importance.
The economic.
Why do we need?
I'm just telling you.
What kind of business
we are opening Osun State because we've not been having businesses. Doesn't mean we should not open Osun State for more investments. We are opening Osun State to be more conducive for investment and for investors to come to Osun State and see that this government is serious about our invite. You can see like a month ago, we had an investment summit where we've had a lot of investors come in, advise the government why Osun have not been an investment center.
It's because of an airport?
Not because of an airport, but airport is one of it.
All right. Before I go to...
airport is one of it.
Before I go to Mr. Ismail, let me quickly chip in this. Why the choice of Akuda Ede? Why must it be Ede?
Yeah, the agency...
Because, let me say this. The grouse in town, we as the fourth estate of the realm are telling you the mood and the breathing of the people is, why is it that everything good must be domiciled in Ede?
Before now.
Why not Ife? Why not Elisha? Why not Ikiro?
I like that question.
Yeah.
Before now.
Because there's this Edenization agenda. Maybe I should tell you.
Before now, Ede has had a federal polytechnic.
Yeah.
Before now, Ede have Army Barrack.
Yeah.
The engineering department. Before now, Ede has NYC camp. Before now, Redeemer University is in Ede. Why are all those things in Ede even before the administration of Senator Adeleke? Ede is very close to the state capital. That's the advantage Ede is having. And Ede is having a very big landmass that accommodates such investors.
Okini is close to Osogbo.
But Okini doesn't have the same size.
Idominos is close to Osogbo.
Okini is close to Osogbo. Or you cannot tell me Okini is having the same landmass as Ede.
How about Idominos?
The same. the people that came to test. And
so the only place that has that location is Akudaite.
Do you now know why Akuda is even having that location?
Why?
Because that land has been considered for the army long time ago.
Okay.
And the army have just encroached the land, abandoned it. They have not been using it. And you know our people will always keep up from the property of the army.
The military,
Of the military.
Yeah.
So that is what have protected that land so far till now.
Is that the land you are going to use?
That's the land we are using.
Has it been considered to the state government?
Yes.
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 All right, let me go to Mr. Ismail. Are you with me, sir?
So it's not even easy for us to have that kind of space.
Yes, it's Mr. Ismail.
It's not easy to have that kind of space.
All right.
If not that the army have protected that one. So
we'll come back to that. Otunba here and many of the party supporters have said it was the relocation thing. It wasn't a relocation.
There was nothing like relocation.
All right, hold on.
I'll
come back to you. It's Mr. Ismail's time now. That it wasn't a relocation. The Ido-Osun Airport remains the Ido-Osun Airport. And it was your principal. In fact, that's the main reason why we had to contact you to speak on this matter, because we are talking about your principal directly that conceded Osun's property to the military. And so a relocation thing doesn't happen, has not happened at all. And what the state government right now is doing is a fresh and a new airport to be sited in Akudaide. What do you say to that?
Thank you very much. Before I go into that, let me say that he is saying that they are building airport because they want investment. What his principal told us during campaign was that they had enough international connections to bring investors. And at the last count, they have claimed to have traveled abroad 3 times to woo investors. Again, I ask, in 24 months, how many investors have we seen in Osun? You should keep that in the bag. That is 1. 2, my brother in the studio, I'm not sure I have met him before, but he's speaking like someone who does not even understand what his government is doing with regards to some of the policies, especially on this issue of airport.
Why do you say that?
Go to the archives again. What was the reason given by the SSD of the government? What was the reason given by my elder brother, by Zakolapo Alimi? They stated it clearly that they were relocating the airport because the land has been encroached upon by trespassers. They're on record. That was what they told us. Having said that, you see, the letter they are circulating, the government is just being clever by half. They are trying to use the circulation of the letter to deflate the real issue. But there are some questions one should be asking. One is that what is the total size of the land? I'm happy he's in the studio there. How many was ceded to the Air Force for the purpose of aviation city? Is the size of the remaining land sufficient for building an airport, especially putting into cognizance other airports in the country? And the answer is yes. Look here. When we came in, my principal said it clearly that he was not going to spend a dime of Osun money on that airport project because of the history of the project. Don't forget, the project was started by Oyinlola. And so in an attempt to get investors to help with what we have there, we had gone cap in hand to the aviation ministry, try to see how we could lobby the federal government to come to our aid. If you remember, myself and Honorable Bamidele Salam had a brief bat over this same airport project on your sister radio station because he woke up one morning. He said my principal was inaccessible, and that because of the fact that it was inaccessible, we lost the opportunity of having that airport project revalidated at the National Assembly. and I challenged him. I said he was lying because I was the one he called to fix an appointment for him with my principal. In fact, when I called my principal to say that Honorable Salam wants to meet with him, he asked me what was the reason. I said I didn't know. But I went ahead to fix the appointment. But by the time I reached out to Bamidele Salam, he told me he was already driving out of the state and that whenever he was back in town, he was going to contact me. I didn't hear anything from him until when he came on air to say that my principal's inaccessibility bungled that project. Well, I am named this foundation to tell the people of Osun that majority of the PDP members have penchant for misinformation, have penchant for lying. The truth of the matter is that
Can he read out the content of the letter?
This obsession to want to be the one to do everything. They reach out to the investors to say that is there any way they can repeat the ceremony that had been performed by Oyetola so that rather than have Oyetola's name on that project, it will be their name. And the investors said it wasn't possible. That was what they were dragging before it occurred to them that, okay, if the investors were not cooperating, they could go somewhere else to do whatever they want to do. That was the same thing they did on University of Ilesha. Don't forget that we were the one who started University of Ilesha. We were the one who collected the certificate from NUC. But what did they do? They came up to say, hey, we didn't do what X, Y, Z. And so that, so it is their style. But let me advise that Osun is our collective patrimony.
Yeah.
And so we will not allow a single individual or a single family to want to run it anyhow. We will continue to challenge them. If indeed Osun has fund to build a new airport, I will suggest very strongly that they should put the money in that aviation city project, because the aviation city project also has airport as part of the package. It will allow for both military use and commercial use. Port Harcourt is there. There is an Air Force airport there where private individuals, commercial, which are used for commercial purposes. In Port Harcourt is there. So if we have the money, rather than waste it on that bogus project, they should invest it on the aviation city.
The aviation city
is not going to bring forth only airport.
Are you referring to the Ido Osun?
Job opportunities for the people of Osun.
Are you referring to Ido Osun project as the aviation city?
Yes.
Now the question. Yes, the question.
It was that project that led to the establishment of the Air Force base that we have on the just on the aspect of Osogbo. It was in an attempt to aggregate the benefits of the aviation city. The aviation city was also supposed to come with hangar. And you know what hangars are used for? They are used for repairs of aircraft. Tell me, if we have such a project in Osun, the quantum benefits it will accrue to the people of Osun. So they should stop the Edenization of Osun. They should concentrate the resources of the state in improving the programs.
All right.
They told us that government is continuous. So if government is continuous, why will you continue to waste money? They fly over the built. I pray they last. I pray they stand the test of time. I am sure all of us will see the result at the end of the day, because the road they claim they are completing on a Baba Ono, they have patched that road more than 6 times in less than 1 year, because they have refused to give quality persons this job to do.
All right. You know, it's about the state, just like we said. Either it's party A or party B is about the people. Now, let me ask you categorically, the concession that we are talking about. The question is, Osun people want to know, did your principal concede that airport to the military completely, handing off it as a state, handing their hands off it as a state and say the military, please go ahead with it? Is that what happened? Is that what that concession
That was not
about?
what happened.
Please tell us.
You know, when you are doing investment, there's what we call equity.
Okay.
You bring money. If you don't have money, what other things do you have that can stand in place of the equity? Now we want an airport. The Air Force people are saying yes with our investors, because we're able to assess the investors too. They have the money. They have
Femi,
what it takes to build
will
us
you
an
please-
I'll
airport.
come to you.
But in addition to this airport,
Yes.
because, we want A, B, C, D. And we sat down, we look at it. We said, okay, what will be the interest of Osun in all these projects? Now, because we have decided that we won't put in a penny. In any case, we don't even have the penny to put. So we now agree that, okay, the land that we are giving for the purpose of building the aviation city will form part of our equity in the OD. But that land does not affect the airport. The airport is there. The only thing is that as part of the package, the airport developed the airport. And there's nothing that says that the airport will be only for military use. No.
All right. All right. I'll come back to you, Mr. Ismail. Yeah, you.
I have the copy of the handover letter,
Let's have it.
and I will read word for word. The Chief of Air Staff, August 2022. The Chief of Air Staff, Nigeria Air Force, Force Headquarters, Abuja. Handing over of the runway and the entire land corridor of the proposed MKO Abiola Airport at Idu-Osun, Osun State. I write to convey the approval of the handing over of the runway and the entire land corridor of the proposed MKO Abiola International Airport for the use of the proposed aviation technology city for Osun State. I write to appreciate the authority of the Nigerian Air Force for deeming fit to establish aviation technology city in the Osun State. This legacy will continue linger in the minds of my people.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Signed, Adegboyega Oyetola, Governor of Osun State.
So read the remaining one for the record.
Okay.
So
please go ahead and read
I've
it.
picked what I want to.
No.
Read
Read
You
the
can
remaining part.
listen.
You know, no. Yes, please hold on, Mr.
For the
Ismail.
record,
Yes.
For the record,
Please
this is
complete
the
it.
last paragraph. For
Yes,
the
please
record,
complete it.
I wish to state that the Osun State government has agreed to convert our investment on the runway and the land to an equity on the project.
Okay.
On the project's terms and conditions to be worked out between the state government officials and the representative of NAF officials.
That was the last
Thank you
paragraph.
That
much.
was the last paragraph.
Is it
Let
different
me
from
let
what
me
has
let,
been
no.
explained?
Let me clarify one thing from
That's
his
what
claim.
Mr. Omid. We don't ask
No.
Mr. Okay.
What he was saying is that they didn't consider the whole land to the Air Force. But reading from this letter now, you can see that handing over of the runway, very clear, and entire land corridor. So where the space is claiming that it remains. After handing over the main
space-
runway and the entire land corridor
The main
for
runway
aviation
is
city.
not for the airport.
Eh?
The main runway is not for the airport.
If that has been considered for the use of the aviation city,
It's for them to airport
so it
develop
be.
it. That is why
It's
we
not
are
the fault
considering
of our
it to
own
them.
government. So, and if the government thinks the Air Force are not speeding enough to what we need in our state, in the termination of the growth.
All right.
And we cannot start going again, writing the efforts that we want to withdraw the partnership or we want to withdraw the lands considered to them by the past administration. That will even be too.
Now, Otunba,
that would be like a witch hunt.
Yeah, there are some keywords that are used here.
But you have always done so
Aviation City.
Yeah,
please hold on, Mr. Ismail. Aviation City, it is project. And, he said, Mr. Pedon said, it's more like the equity. If you can't bring cash to the table, we have something that we can bring to the table and we work out the modalities. Now, if you feel there is a need for an airport, the people we are talking about, the military, the officials, the members, they are still Nigerians. Why can't you speak to them and say, you are slowing down, we want something to use?
Mind you, they said...
For investment opportunity.
They said
it's still for Osun,
Aviation City
yes.
for technology purposes.
For the Osun people, isn't it?
Technology purposes for the Air Force.
Okay.
And you want to marry their technology assignments with the commercial need of the state?
You think it can go hand in hand?
That may not be convenient. They need it for technology purposes.
So your government will rather start a new airport
for commercial purposes that fit the demands of our investors.
Do you even have the money? Does the state government have the money?
Let me give you one assurance.
Yes.
Under the leadership of Senator Nuruddin Ademola Adeleke, we will not only start this project, we will complete it and the governor will commission it.
When?
I give you the assurance.
When?
By the time the master plan comes out
and
the contract will come with duration, as every other project we are handling now have been always coming with
so there's no master plan
and we have been meeting up with the duration of completion. It will also come to the public domain. It will come with the duration of completion, and I assure you it will be completed on that.
Has it been contracted out yet? The project?
Not yet, but it has been, the location we are at the stage of test and siting location.
Okay.
Now we have
identified the location.
Yeah, and now a location suitable has been identified. The project details will be made public after final assessment.
There were some controversies. There were some protests by some Osun people. In fact, they blocked the road for like 2 days.
Because they were not informed then. But now they are well informed.
Everybody was saying you can't move this project from our side.
You can so say that the letter have just stated that nothing has been moved.
So you are saying that protests from Osun people were misinformed?
They were misinformed.
By who?
And by the opposition.
Why did you that you are in government, why didn't you properly inform them?
Now they are informed.
By who?
By the letter, considering that
the letter is still from the opposition.
It's by the past administration.
Okay.
Now
what I'm saying is this, if you are accusing an opposition of misinforming, they are no more in power, at least as of now. You are the one in power. Why are you not properly informing them in every language that they understand?
Let me tell you.
And you have to allow them to do a protest.
For you to kill a dog, you call it any bad name you want. The aviation city is not an invisible thing to the people of Osun.
Okay.
The Air Force have not only, they have started operation there. Okay. They are presently there. The Osun people are aware. In fact, when the Air Force took over that land, the late king of Osun sent a delegation of stakeholders from Osun to welcome and appreciate the Air Force people.
Right.
That with this arrangement now, considering it to aviation center, that the Air Force will come up with something that will favor the town.
Okay.
At what point are they not informed when they can physically see? That is why I said it's the work of the opposition.
And you might say it's the work of
the opposition, not the work of the.
Now you are in the power, you are the one with the responsibility of informing.
But I'm just telling you that is whatever. If after this program you can go to Osun, you will see the aviation
agitation
center.
Has died.
They are already no more agitation because they can see that nothing has changed.
Let me ask you something before we move away from this particular topic. The equity that was produced in that arrangement was that airport from Osun State, not on the name of Adeleke Ayetola or Rauf Aragbeshola, is an Osun equity.
Yeah.
Is Osun still interested in that project?
Yeah, not that we are not interested. The government is interested, but it may not listen.
You have jettisoned
the letter here. I've considered it for another purpose, technology purpose.
As an equity.
Technology purpose.
Yes.
What we are doing now is for commercial purpose, strictly commercial purpose.
No, you are not
and you know
question.
the military people.
Otunba, you are not answering my question.
The military people are
this
by this letter considering it to the military now.
Yeah.
They are not the landlord of that space.
Okay. You are saying Osun doesn't have any business with it.
You can see.
No, forget the letter. You are the ones in power.
I can't forget the letter because the letter is the basis where the Air Force have
Otunba, if you can hear
take
me.
over the.
Can you hear me? What I'm saying is this. The letter has said some things. There is an arrangement on ground. I'm asking you.
I told
please
you.
Hear me so that you can respond. I'm saying that project, as it is right now in Osun, is Osun State still interested?
I told you when we came on board, the governor invited the Air Force people for briefing of the activities and the level of progress recorded on that land so far. If we are not interested, the governor will not invite the Air Force.
Okay.
We are interested, and we are interested on even the progress of the Osun Aviation Center.
Okay.
And
at the same time,
I just tell you that aviation center may not be convenient for both technology and commercial purposes. Because
is that an advice from professionals?
The way the military operates, we all know they are not that open.
I understand.
They are not that open in their...
The decision to jettison this particular one and say, okay, it might not be fit for commercial purpose, let's move it to somewhere else. Did you get that advice from professionals?
Yes, of course. Of what benefit is the airport that when, for instance, our people are to go for Hajj in the Holy Land, you know the kind of traffic and attention. And the aviation is having a technology operation going on at the same time. Will our people not be stranded?
Hajj only happens once in a year.
I'm just using that as an instance.
Yeah.
Will our people not be stranded? So for the smooth running of the technology purpose of Osun, let's leave it at
something commercial.
And for the easy commercial activities that will be convenient with in Osun State, let's have the commercial purpose airport. A full grand one.
Mr. Ismail Omipido.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we move away from this airport, I'd like to ask you, because you've talked about the fact that the kind of money that this government
they should leave
right
us with the money we will invest.
Hold on, I'll come back.
They have their own time and they
I will come back I will come back to you. Mr. Ismail.
They have 12 good years.
Please hold on. You have said the kind of money that this administration have right now, are you saying they'd rather invest it in something else and the airport thing is not necessary? Is that what you say?
What something else?
Yeah, let me say this.
Please.
As we speak today, airport is not a priority in Osun, and that was why.
Because it's not the priority of your own government doesn't mean it's not the priority of our own government.
1 minute, please. It is not a priority in Osun.
In your government,
please
it's the priority.
Excuse me. Let me learn.
Please go ahead.
Now,
if you are speaking, speak for your own government and for your party. Don't speak for the people of Osun.
Yeah, Otunba, you had your time. It's time right now. Mr. Ismail, go ahead.
I'm a bona fide Osun citizen for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I have every right to speak about what is happening in my state. Having said that, if you have the type of money you claim you have to build that airport, I say with all sense of modesty that is not a priority.
Why?
You came with some tractors, so to speak. Nobody knows where those tractors are today. Why don't you invest that money in agriculture? That is one. Two, there is a popular Hausa proverb that says, Juma Mechao de Laraba Kanganeta. That is to say that a Good Friday is known from the Wednesday preceding it.
Yeah.
If we go by the history of this current administration that has never completed any project on time, I doubt if his claim of starting that airport program completely will be, because look, I school in Ede, Ede Akoda Road, it took them close to 2 years to come to the level they have. Even at that, go and drive on that road and see if it is the best of quality. They told us that their flyovers will be done under 1 year. It is over 1 year now. Even the ones they commissioned, they had not completed it. So they should stop lying to the public. They should concentrate on what they can do. There are low-hanging fruits. that they can capitalize on to better the life of the people of Osun. Just yesterday, at the town hall on the tax reform bills,
Right.
most of the reservation the people have is that, look, in as much as this tax thing will bring more money to the state, that the ones they are collecting from subsidy removal, we are not seeing what they are using the money for. So, look, if the subnationals are doing what they ought to do, the cry of hunger will not be as loud as it is today. Let the current administration concentrate on what they can do, what they have comparative advantage over. Airports certainly is not one of such. They should invest more in agriculture. They should empower small-scale businessmen. Look, did they not promise us something close to a Silicon Valley? They say tech hub, tech hub. What have you seen that they have done? Apart from laying those fiber of the, what have they seen?
All right.
We have not seen anything. They just spend money on projects. You hardly see the results.
Let me quickly ask you this. We've talked passively on it earlier, and is this narrative of Edenization of everything good? Your party have said it. We have some of your party chieftains here speak about that as well. But I want us to speak to figures as well, because Otunba here said there has always had good institutions, and it's not because Adelekes were there in government. What's these things? Can we speak to figures? What do you think they has over every other house?
Those institutions are either private or federal government owned. I know that federal government, there's what we call even distribution of resources. So if you have, for instance, you already have a university, a federal-owned university in Ife at the time, the Ede own happened. And again, except we want to deceive ourselves. We all know the story of how the federal protein they come about. You see, Nigeria is a very funny country.
Speak to figures. What has Ede benefited in this government above other local governments?
Let me land, please. So, all those institutions is mentioning, of course, they're also influenced by people. Now, talking about the Edenization we are talking about.
Yeah, under this administration.
The governor, who is the commissioner for works, is from Ede. The PS is from Ede. The whole ambulance person is from Ede. NHIS is from Ede. I can go on and on. And you see, let me say this.
The same way we have PS in Ila, we have two commissioners from Ila, we have a rep member from Ila, we have a senator from Ila, but those one is not Edenization of Osun State.
You see, the Edenization they are doing today did not start today.
The head of service is also from Ila axis. Those ones is not Edenization of Osun State.
And so we are not surprised. But you see, the thing is, they should also always be at the back of their mind that whatever you do today becomes history tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so we should do things that even when we are no longer in position, we can still raise our heads up and defend our actions.
Very well.
Thank you.
Yes, very well. And as we are, rounding it off, we won't have this conversation without talking about politics and elections, And the Adelekes are well over their half, or into the half. 2 years gone, 2 years remaining. 2026 is almost here. This is 2024. Give or take, believe it or not, possibly the journey has started. Their intentions, interests, inclinations here and there, alignment and realignment, cross-carpeting of members from party A to party B, from party B to party A. And, the last time we had you here physically, I asked a question that is your principal, interested in coming back as a governor of the state? And if the answer is yes, does he have what it takes to face an Adeleke if actually Adeleke choose to run for a second term?
Thank you very much. Let me say this with all sense of responsibility that as at this morning, as I speak, politics is not on our table. Okay. We have a mandate and we are trying as much as possible to discharge our responsibilities the best we can. Once there's time for politics, I'm sure we'll play it.
So you
I
are not
want to
ruling
hang
it
on
out?
that. However, let me say
Yes.
that if you are going to look at the antecedents, I believe very strongly that my principal towers over and above the current governor, based on what he has done so far. At least the people of Osun can put the two of them side by side and decide what they want to do. But like I said, we are not in for politics now. When the time comes, we'll play it.
All right. Thank you very much. And let me take your part in short. 2026 is almost there. You are less than 2 years to another election year. Is your principal coming back? Have you had that conversation?
Yeah, I can tell you that all stakeholders in our party, PDP, have agreed that Senator Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke should continue for second term.
Is that a consensus, or you are just using the power of incumbency to press every other candidate?
No, a consensus by the party.
By the party?
PDP, Osun State.
And if actually he decides to come back, do you think the Osun people are happy with him enough to give him another mandate?
They will,
because it's the prerogative of the people.
The progress recorded so far in 2 years, I can tell you, if tomorrow is the election, my boss will come out victorious again.
Victorious again?
Yeah.
All right. So what, let me put you on the hot seat. I'll take you as a party shot. If there is an area or 2 areas that you think your government can improve, what would that be?
Yeah. We still have 2 years ahead.
Less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years to go for this term. And I can tell you, we are open to advices, and we are taking the advice, and we're improving on advice.
If I'm to breathe what the people are breathing today, I like to, say 2 points here, and I'm saying public because these are what the people tell us. We have reports on these.
Go ahead.
The recruitment of teachers that is taking forever. Let me just tell you. So possibly you can take a feedback. The Osun people are not happy about that. We have parents call on us to speak on this matter that is taking for long.
The past government started recruitment process a few months to the end of their tenure. They are having 4 years opportunity. If our own is taking just 2 years and few days now, I think
you called 2 years.
Yeah, if the government have done that for 4 years and they couldn't achieve it till the last few months of their administration, I don't think ours is taking too long if we are achieving it in 2 years.
And this is not about the last administration. You are the one in charge.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you that if we are achieving it in 2 years,
you didn't have COVID, you didn't have
the patient with the past administration still have better hope in us.
All right.
We will do better.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We have been speaking with, eminent gentlemen and, of course, sons of the soil, when I mean of the soil of the state as well, who is occupying or are occupying.
And you can see he cannot establish a delegation of the state, either by project or by appointment or by anything. I just told him the head of service is from Ila.
If you give me your number, I will send you.
We have permanent secretaries from Ila, where you come from.
We
have 2 commissioners from Ila, and nobody is referring that to Ilaization of the government. But I'm using Ila because it's from Ila, so that he will know that even where he comes from can be referred to as the claim is making towards the day.
All right.
If we will go by the appointment in.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We would still like to have you in the coming days and, of course, to speak to issues that has to do with the people. I've been speaking with, Otunba, Tunde Badmus, the SSA to the government, to the governor of the state, Governor Adeleke, on political affairs. Thank you for coming. All right. And, of course, the former spokesperson, rather, the former governor of the state, Ismail Omikpidon. It's always good to have you. Thank you for coming.
The pleasure is mine. God bless you.
All right. And Femi Ojo is my name. Let me remind you that you could have a recap of this program on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television, Western Spring TV, and of course you have the address scrolling on your screen about our various social media channels on Instagram, on Facebook, and of course on X. You have different foray of programs, and then you can have, been informed, be educated, and that's exactly what we have given to you today. We'll make a return for the midweek installment tomorrow. Once again, I'm Femi Ojo. God bless Osun State. God bless Nigeria. God bless you.